Well, hello, listeners, and of course, those of you who are joining live. I am here with Christina Giaquinto, and we're going to be talking about spring cleaning, but most of all, spring cleaning with the family. Christina, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
I'm excited too. So, but before we get into, the strategies, etc., what made you decide to be a professional organizer?
Professionally, it was actually kind of a means to an end. I feel like when you have a business, sometimes it's planned. And then sometimes I meet people where they say it kind of just fell into their life. And I was actually going to take a course in LA and I needed money. And this was 10 years ago, but I thought of three ideas, creative ideas of where I could be of service. And I've always loved organizing, just in my blood. I was the one in school, helping teachers, organizing my binders. And it worked. And when I got back from, I raised, not raised, but got the money that I needed to go to LA. And then when I got back, I thought to myself, why am I going to stop? And so it kind of just fell into my life very synchronistically, but I can't imagine it any other way now. So it's been a wonderful, blessing and journey to start organizing that way.
Oh, that is wonderful. So, with spring cleaning, because people are thinking about spring cleaning, so what is the benefit of really having everyone in the family like chip in and do their part during spring cleaning?
I love when the whole family gets involved. I mean, on a simple answer, it's really like having all your best friends with you. I mean, hopefully everyone in the family loves each other, right? So it's just more fun. And, I always tell people turn it into a game sometimes, who can declutter the fastest, for example, or who can declutter the most. And, there's music when you're in the home all together, good snacks. So I love it. And also from the productivity side of it, the home encompasses everybody. And so often we leave certain family members out, or it's all on the parents, for example. But the home, it's everybody. And I think everybody should chip in and work as that family unit. And it turns into a very special process, really, to declutter and organize together because it is everyone's home. So I love when everybody gets involved together.
So, what are some strategies? Because, I mean, as sure as I know you've already heard it, is like a lot of people are saying, well, how do I get my kids involved? What do I do? So, what are some strategies that parents and families can do to really get everybody on board with a spring cleaning, project, but also maybe a project throughout the year?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing is going to be to have a plan as a family. So we can't just walk into the house and say, everybody go do your own thing. It's going to be a disaster. So the first thing that we want to do is work as a team. And I know this sounds a little bit corny, but even like have a team name. Again, like have fun with this. I think organizing should be fun. I know not everyone loves it as much as I do, but have a family team name. And the first thing is creating this plan and bird's eye view of the home and really deciding, are we going to start with the rooms that we could do all together, or are we going to start individually? So some rooms that you can do together are probably going to be the kitchen, the living room, and that's really going to be the whole family unit working together. If you decide to do it individually, probably going to be your bedrooms. And then, going off what I said before, if it's going to be those individual rooms, again, turn it into a game. Who can declutter their room and organize it the fastest gets a prize or something like that. And when it comes to kids, I don't know if it's just because I wasn't their parent, but anytime I worked with kids, they were always so eager to do it. I loved it. I always say that some of my favorite quote unquote clients were children. They always listened and really understood the concept of, I would explain it to them. We have all these toys, and if there's any that you don't really use as much, there's other little boys and girls out there that are not as fortunate. And I'm telling you, I saw it in their eyes. They just got it and they got all excited, and kids have such big hearts and they want to help. So I love having the children involved, and little kids to teenagers or whoever, college students, whoever's in the house. But definitely, especially when they're younger, I think it's great to also kind of instill this in them. Why not? It's going to benefit the whole house and who they are individually. I think if you know these techniques of how to stay organized and be conscious of the items that you have, that's something that you can take with you your whole life.
And you're right, because I remember a client, she hired me to work with her sons. And like you said, they were so excited and eager. They were willing to get rid of things because she was frustrated because one son didn't hang up things. She's like, he just doesn't hang up things. But then once I got there, Christina, I told her, I says, well, maybe if he had some hangers, that would
Okay,
help.
we need that.
And she was like, wow. And also, I said he was just a little overwhelmed because he was getting all his big brother's stuff, some of which he could wear, but some which he couldn't just yet. So I said it was just really him just trying to figure out a system for that. So you're right. Working with kids can be fun. So all of you parents watching, listening, like she said, just create a plan. But I love your idea of the teams, the music, the snacks. Make it fun. I think
Yeah.
sometimes people think organizing just has to be so treacherous and boring, but it can truly, truly be fun. So thank you for sharing it,
Yeah,
Christina.
of course.
So how do you stay organized? Because you've got clients, you've got family, I'm sure you're involved in the community.
Yeah.
So how do you stay organized?
It's funny that you say that because I swear I was doing the dishes last night and this popped into my head because I didn't really want to be doing the dishes, but I have a rule of making sure that sink is clean the night before. But I thought to myself, I'm like, it really truly is all of these small, kind of mundane decisions, and having a system, so something like that, like I stick to that habit. And I'm not perfect, not all the time, but for the most part, that sink is clean every time I go to bed. Or when I walk into the apartment, I have this little organizer and I always put my keys there. I always put my sunglasses. I've never lost them once ever because there's a system. And so part of it is actually creating the system and taking the time to do that. But then quite honestly, after that, it's just these small little decisions. But if you think about it, whether it's anywhere from 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes tops on these decisions every day, you multiply that by 25 times a day, you know, there is so much merit to that. And that's how the house truly stays organized. And again, it's going to ebb and flow, and there's going to be times where, looks crazy, and that's fine. But for the most part, those small daily habits and actions are really going to do it. But first, create the system. You got to do that first.
And I agree. It's like you're right. It's those little systems. And like you said, sometimes people don't think because we are organizers that, there's moments where things just get a little out of
Oh, of
hand.
course.
But because we have the systems, we can put things back in place. So I loved it. So Christina, how can people connect with you? But also, of course, as a fellow organizer, I'm just admiring, the system you're standing in front
Thank
of.
you.
So,
Thank you. No, it's a good backdrop, right? Yeah,
yeah.
no, first of all, I always love when people reach out after, doing a podcast or an interview. I love it. So one for me personally, you could reach out on Instagram. I hope somewhere on here, my name's a little long. It's Christina Giaquinto, and I'm not going to take the time to spell that all out. But on my Instagram, I always say people can DM me or reach out. I'm redoing my website, so give me about a month and that'll be all done. But I'm here representing Modular Closets. I represent them as their organizer and brand ambassador, and that's what's behind me here today. So follow Modular Closets on Instagram. I'm always checking those messages, so reach out anytime, truly. And even, my cell, I tell people, like, you could text me, call me. I'm very easygoing. And my email for Modular Closets is Christina with a C at modularclosets.com. So plenty of ways to reach out, but we're always here to help you.
And of course, I will have all of Christine's links in the description so
Perfect.
you can connect with her, find out more about the modular closets. So, Christina, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to be here today.
Oh, thank you so much. It was fun.